Guess what? Ogilvy's secret to getting clients still works today. And today we're going to go through a list of all of his ideas coming from his book he wrote himself, Ogilvy on Advertising. Let's get straight into the first piece of knowledge, the answer to the question in the title. The easiest way to get new clients is to do good advertising. Now for marketing, the easiest way to get good clients is to do good marketing. It's that simple. All you have to do is be the best at what you do, or do really well in what you do. I mean, it's sometimes hard to be the best, but I believe in you because you're watching this channel. So here's a tip. I answer, if you are going to choose your agency on the basis of price, you are looking through the wrong end of the telescope. What you should worry about is not the price you pay for your agency's services, but the selling power of your advertising. This is a point that you can bring up when you're trying to talk to a prospective client, that if they are stuck with your pricing, tell them, hey, you're looking at this from the wrong angle. Marketing works differently from other careers. If you hire the best marketing agency, your ads, your company may grow 4, 5, 10, and Ogilvy says this at one point in his book, 19.5 times X as much as any other firm or some some other worst firm could. So bring up this point, tell them to focus on the quality that your company can offer or your skills can offer. They'll probably be more inclined to listen. Earlier, I mentioned that you should aim to be the best at your craft. And this guy named Charlie Rose said an amazing quote. It reads, "Be so good they can't ignore you." And I just want to play the video, so here we go.
Someone stood up in an audience somewhere and said to you, how do you be successful? Mm-hmm. And you said you have to be undeniably good at something.
Well, it really is this. When people ask me, say, how do you make it in show business or whatever? And what I always tell them, I've said it many years, and nobody ever takes note of it because it's not the answer they wanted to hear. What they want to hear is, here's how you get an agent, here's how you write a script, here's how you do this, But I always say, be so good they can't ignore you. And I just think that if somebody's thinking, how can I be really good? People are going to come to you. It's much easier than doing it that way than going to cocktail parties.
So now we're in the meeting. It's you and the client. What do we do? First thing, rehearse before the meeting, but never speak from a prepared text. It locks you into position which may become irrelevant during the meeting. And this makes sense. If you are block by block by block creating your proposal, if the client throws one weird question at you, your whole building, your whole planning falls apart. And we don't want that to happen. So what we should do instead is become familiar with information, be comfortable with it. It's like what I'm doing right here. I've read through this slide once. I probably should do it twice, but I read it through it once. I practiced talking through it, and therefore now I can talk and have a genuine conversation with you rather than, just me like looking at the slides and stuttering every single word. Speaking of second, I didn't say second, but the second quote, above all, listen. The more you get the prospect client to talk, the easier it will be to decide whether you really want his account. Getting a client is a two-way road. It takes two to tango. You don't want for the client just to purely like you. You need to make sure that you enjoy the client and that the relationship you're going to form will work between you two. Because otherwise, let's just say you get a bad client, it's going to piss you off and it's going to piss off the team, and we're going to get more into that later in this video. Number 3, tell your prospect client what your weak points are before he notices them. This will make you more credible when you boast about your strong points. And when I read this, I was like, yes, Ogilvy, that's an amazing idea. Because oftentimes we boast about what we are great at. And there's no ground level for that. It's like, dude, I know you're talking about all this good stuff. What's the catch? If you come up to the person, first things first, and tell them what the catch is, hey, for me, I suck at spelling. Or I fumbled $1 million, stuff like that. And then you can talk about what you're actually good at after. It's going to build a little bit more trust because you're presenting yourself as more honest. You're saying, hey, this is what I'm not good at and this is what I need to get better in. But at the same time, look at all these things you can get. And so then they can measure, you know what, his bad sides aren't really that bad. And he was upfront and honest with me. And if you're just pushing this agenda where you're claiming to be the best, it's going to make it seem less genuine. And the guy who admits his faults first is going to get the job. So let's go to number 4. The day after a new business presentation, send the prospect a 3-page letter summarizing the reasons why he should pick your agency. This will help him make the right decision. Not many people do this, and I do not know why. Whenever you have a job interview or you're interviewing a client, reach out to them after, thank them for showing up, thank them for what they're talking about. And Ogilvy takes a step further from that, and he says, you know what, you need to write a really nice summary of what you just talked about. Tell them about, hey, remember, this is what we were yapping about. Here's why you should choose our company. I hope you make the right decision. Or take this information and make the right decision. Because if you don't talk to them after, likelihood is they're going to forget. You're not the center of the universe. Hopefully that's not the first time you've heard that. But let's get into quote number 5. Oh, there is no quote number 5 because we're talking about clients are not greater than your company. Your company should be above your clients. And here's a quote illustrating this point. I have resigned about 5 times as often as I have been fired, and always for the same reason. The client's behavior was eroding the morale of the people working on his account. Erosion of morale does unacceptable damage to an agency. Okay, let's take a step back here. You have a client, and you have a team working on them, or you're in that team working for that client. Stuff's not going well. Communication's not great. They're a little bit annoying to work with. And all of a sudden, your company, your team, they're not very happy right now. Morale is going down. This is the point where Ogilvy makes a smart decision to let go of the company. Say, you know what? It's not worth losing my own company to serve this company. Rather, let's find someone else. And I think that's really important, that we need to prioritize our work over working for the client. Cool idea. Didn't think of it like that. So number 2, above all, don't join the melancholy procession of agencies which always accompanies a dying brand on its way to the cemetery. And Ogilvy has a great illustration for this. So let's imagine Disney is going into the dirt, which, okay, you know, Disney is not going in the best route right now. Maybe not the most popular company or as popular as it has been. But imagine if Disney started really going down. What would happen is the current marketing agency would say, hey, you're a bum to work with, which is smart. Ogilvy would have dropped them. And so they let Disney go, and some other firm who's below the higher firm is like, I'd be happy to take you up, Disney. And they take them up for a while. But Disney keeps going down and keeps getting worse. And then that firm, for their marketing firm, is like, you know what? We're letting you go, Disney. And then the one below, right here, yeah. The one below takes up Disney, takes them for a little bit, and then drops them. And then the one below that takes them, drops them, shakes them, drops them, and it just goes down this chain of agencies until eventually the company goes bankrupt or something bad happens, or Disney makes a comeback like we've never seen before. What's important here is you do not want to be stuck in this chain. Maybe if you're the top guy, that's a smart decision. The second to top guy, it's a gamble because maybe Disney was just having a hard time and then you come up. But if you're getting in the third, the fourth, the fifth places in the chain, you do not want to pick up a company that's going down into the dirt. This slide is called Rep Check because oftentimes you need to see how your firm or your company is doing in the current marketplace. And how do you do that? Ogilvy has a quote for that. It is important to know how your agency is regarded in the marketing community. Don't trust your own ears. You will only hear favorable opinions. It is safer if you can afford it to have a research organization conduct an impartial survey. When they report weak spots in your reputation, you can probably correct them, but it will take longer than you expect. Opinions always lags behind reality. So this quote has 2 main ideas. Number 1, when checking your reputation, you can't just ask your employees. It's not going to work like that. You're going to have to spend some money to have an actual survey conducted or someone professional look into this. And it is important. You want to know, hey, what do other companies think of us? Maybe not to an obsession because there are always outliers, and yeah, that's it. I mean, that's the idea. They're always going to be outliers. And so if you consider yourself to be one of them, then maybe it's not as crucial, but still, majority of people are going to want to know if their reputation is looking good. The second point of this quote is the fact that opinions always lags behind reality. And this happens all over marketing. If your company gets a bad reputation, or think of like any product in the past that had a bad reputation and then comes back, they improve it a lot quicker than the opinion changes. So in the same way, when you're looking at your company reputation or the people you work with, that reputation, it's going to lag behind. So always make sure always make sure how you present yourself in the current marketplace. And if you do make a change, don't be surprised if it takes a little while for people to follow along with it. So now I just have a bunch of miscellaneous quotes. I think I have about 6 of these. We're just going to go rapid fire. I'm going to introduce the quote. I'm going to talk a little bit about it, and then we're going to keep going through until we finish the video. So let's look at number 1. If you are aspiring to build a portfolio of accounts in a wide variety of industries, you must be able to produce different kinds of advertising. Makes sense. If you're going broad, you need to be able to create stuff that is broad. But at the same time, I would argue it's even better to aim for more specific markets, because if you can become the best person in that small niche, then it's going to be a lot harder for people to come in and take your competition. The wider the variety you have, the harder it is to stand out among the crowd, because there are always going to be people who specialize in certain areas. For me, I purely talk about business videos focused on marketing and histories of greatest marketers. So if that's what you're interested, remember, subscribe. And when I say subscribe, usually the thing goes up, so check out, see if that does it. Let's go into quote number 2. It follows that you should recruit people with a wide range of talents. An agency should be like an orchestra, able to play anything from Palestina to Jean Mackerel Jared with equal virtuosity. I really like this example, that when you're working with a team of people, especially if you're in marketing management, it's like conducting an orchestra. You have all these different parts, all these different specialists. You got your violins, your cellos, your harps, your tambourines, I think that's what's called. And they all work differently. They all have different personalities, but you, the conductor, have to keep them all together and make them play some cohesive melody. So when you're trying to recruit people, don't just hire a bunch of violins. You need to make sure you have a variety of people who can match a range of skills. Even though I know I was just talking about niching down, still, if you're going for a specific niche, you want people who are better at certain things in your company working with you. Number 3, however, there will always be more small accounts than big ones. So small accounts aren't endangered species. Small can be beautiful. And this is something I 100% agree with, but also something that low-key pisses me off, because it means the $10,000 a month marketing agency, whatever people call that, it's real. It works, because there are small companies out there, and they will pay a small company to do their advertising, and they'll make the money. For instance, if you get 10 clients who pay $4,000 a month, then you're making $40,000 a month, whatever that is a year. And because of that, people on YouTube won't stop talking about marketing agencies and that you can create your own and get your first easy 10K. I do not believe it. I'm sorry. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. Maybe it's scalable. Probably is. But then there are too many marketing agencies. We don't need any more. Okay. Now that rambles off, that little tangent, let's get to point number 4. Make up your mind before you start writing house ads. So just do research, think about it. But number 5 is way more powerful. Let me talk about this. Left alone, copywriters write house ads to impress other copywriters, and art directors make layouts to impress other art directors. But trendy layouts and fancy copy don't impress prospective clients who have come up through finance, production, or sales. Now this is where it's at. People, when you're hanging out with a group, are gonna just create stuff to impress the people in the group. If you're really focusing on, like he says, people who are in sales or different companies, then you aren't going to write ads that impress other people who make ads. You want to create good ads that impress the clients of the company. That way that they can buy the product and then you make more money. So don't be a fool and start writing or making stuff to impress the people around you. Sure, you can create cool stuff that then works really well in the marketplace. Great way to impress the people you're working with. But don't specifically make art that impresses a specific group of people who the art won't sell to. For instance, if you make a video ad and it uses super cool editing styles that only me and you really appreciate, because I love editing and I can see when someone puts actual work and effort into their edits, than just using the CapCut, which got more views on YouTube or whatever. Don't try to impress people. Just be practical and make everything to the best of your ability. Be so good they can't ignore you. Last quote. Number 6, watch out. Your clients will read your house advertisements. If you boast about your genius for brilliant ideas, you run the risk that they will ask you why you don't give them brilliant ideas. This is funny. If you're advertising for your company or for your services or your product, don't over brag it, because then people who are currently paying for it are going to ask you, yo, bro, you're promising all these things online. Why haven't you delivered? And it's just a smart thing to do. Just be honest. Just be trustworthy. Just be truthful. And say goodbye to my broccoli hair. Broccoli hair will be going soon. Hope you enjoyed it. Not my hair, but the video itself. Thanks for watching to the end. Have an amazing rest of your day. And be an amazing marketer or something like that. Godspeed.